Captain Aaron's starship shuddered violently, the lights flickering as alarms blared through the cabin. He gripped the controls tightly, his knuckles white, his heart racing. "Come on. Come on. Hold together," he muttered under his breath. But the ship had other plans. A surge of energy hit the hull, and the instruments went dark. The ship spun uncontrollably before it finally crashed into the ground with a thunderous impact. Aaron was thrown forward, sliding across the control deck, before hitting the wall with a bone-jarring thud. Pain shot through his shoulder, but he forced himself to sit up. His head was dizzy, and smoke filled the cabin. I need to get out," he whispered. He fumbled with the emergency hatch, and managed to pull it open. Outside, the air was strange, cool, but tinged with a faint metallic scent, almost like iron mixed with something sweet. He stepped onto the ground, his boots sinking slightly into the soft, glowing soil. The sky was unlike anything he had ever seen. 2 suns hung low on the horizon. One pale gold, the other a deep violet. The light from both cast long shadows across the land, making the world look both beautiful and eerie. Tall, shimmering trees stretched toward the sky, their leaves glowing softly in colors Aaron could not name. The air was alive with tiny, luminous creatures that darted between the branches, leaving trails of light like stars falling to the ground. Aaron took a deep breath, trying to steady himself. "Okay. First things first," he said, scanning the horizon. "Find shelter, rest, survive." The ship was beyond repair, and he had no way to contact anyone. Alone on an alien planet, he had to rely on his own instincts. He began walking, every step careful, feeling the soft soil under his boots. The glowing trees and strange plants made it hard to tell distance. Shadows moved oddly, as if the light itself had weight. Sometimes he thought he heard whispers, but the wind carried no sound. Only the faint, melodic hum of the planet's energy surrounded him. Hours passed, or perhaps only minutes. He had no way of measuring time. His stomach ached. His body screamed for rest. But he kept moving. In the distance, a strange structure appeared. Crystalline towers rose into the sky, reflecting the 2 suns and casting rainbow-like patterns on the ground. The towers were connected by delicate bridges, made of light, shimmering like liquid glass. The closer he got, the more he felt a strange warmth in his chest, a sensation of calm he could not explain. As he approached the palace, a figure appeared at the entrance. It was tall and elegant, dressed in flowing robes that shimmered with the same energy as the towers. Aaron froze. He had not expected anyone or anything to be here. The figure's face was pale and luminous, almost as if it glowed from within. Her eyes met his, and he felt a strange sense of recognition, even though he had never met her before. "Welcome," the figure said, her voice soft but clear. The sound seemed to vibrate in the air itself, harmonizing with the hum around them. "You are far from home." Aaron blinked, unsure how to respond. The figure stepped closer, raising her hand in a gentle gesture. "You may rest here," she said. "You have traveled far, and your body cries for rest." She did not offer a bed or a room at first. Instead, she took his hand in hers. It was warm, and the contact was calming. "Come," she said. "You need not fear." Aaron felt a mixture of awe and hesitation. He had read about alien encounters, but nothing could have prepared him for this. And yet, there was no danger in her eyes, only care. He allowed her to guide him inside. The palace interior was breathtaking. The walls were not solid but seemed made of light and energy, constantly shifting in color and pattern. Floors glowed faintly, reflecting his steps, while the ceiling opened to the skies above, showing the twin suns and the sparkling stars beyond. Strange plants floated mid-air, their leaves radiating soft music as they moved. The air smelled of sweet minerals, a calming fragrance that made his muscles relax almost immediately. "You will rest here," she said again, guiding him to a soft platform that seemed to rise out of the floor itself. It adjusted its shape to fit his tired body. "It is more than a bed. It will heal you, slowly, while you sleep." Aaron collapsed onto it without protest. His body ached everywhere, from his shoulders to his legs. The sensation of floating slightly above the ground made it even stranger. But comfortable. "Thank you," he whispered, though he still did not fully understand what was happening. The figure, clearly the queen, sat beside him. "Sleep next to me," she said gently. Her words were not strange or threatening, but filled with trust and protection. It was a gesture, an offer of companionship, not of any other nature. Aaron felt a warmth spread through him, a feeling he had not experienced since leaving Earth. He nodded slowly, too exhausted to question it further. As he drifted towards sleep, he caught one last glimpse of her face. It was serene, almost radiant. And in that moment, he felt as if he had crossed a threshold into a world far beyond his own. A world of wonder, danger, and secrets yet to be revealed. The room grew quiet, except for the soft hum of energy that filled the space. Aaron's eyelids fell, and he finally surrendered to the comfort of the platform and the presence of the queen. His mind floated between consciousness and dreams, a strange mixture of relief, curiosity, and awe. In his drifting thoughts, he felt the weight of what had brought him here. His curiosity, his courage, his human determination. And though he was only at the beginning of this journey, he sensed that his human nature, resilient, adaptable, and brave, would soon be tested in ways he could not yet imagine. Outside the palace, the alien sky shimmered, and the twin suns sank lower toward the horizon. The creatures of the forest sang their soft songs, and the glowing plants swayed gently. Everything seemed to wait, as if the world itself was aware that something extraordinary had arrived. A human, small and fragile, but capable of great courage. Aaron's first night on the alien world stretched on. Dreams began to stir behind his closed eyelids, filled with colors, lights, and voices that were not his own. But for now, he slept, safe in the presence of the queen and the palace that was as alive as the planet itself. And somewhere deep within him, a tiny spark of hope began to grow. Perhaps this strange world, with its wonders and mysteries, was not just a place to survive, but a place where humanity could shine in ways he had never imagined. When Aaron woke, he felt an unfamiliar warmth surrounding him. The soft light of the twin suns filtered through the walls of the palace, casting gentle colors across the room. The platform he had slept on had adjusted itself overnight, forming a gentle curve that seemed made for rest. He stretched and rubbed his eyes, still trying to make sense of the surreal surroundings. Sitting beside him was the queen, Lysera. She looked even more radiant in the morning light. Her robes shimmered like liquid crystal, and her eyes held a depth that seemed to see right into him. Aaron felt a mix of awe and nervousness. This was no ordinary human experience. He was standing in the presence of an alien monarch who clearly possessed knowledge and power beyond anything he had imagined. "You awake," she said, her voice like soft music in the air. "You rested well. The first night is always the hardest when arriving from another world." I did. Yes," Aaron replied, his voice hoarse. "Thank you. I don't even know where to begin. Everything here. It's incredible." Lysera smiled faintly. "You have traveled far, human. I know much about your kind. You are fragile, yet remarkably determined. Curiosity and courage brought you here, though perhaps you do not yet know it." Aaron blinked. "You know about me?" "To some extent," she said. "I sense the energy in beings who arrive on my world. It is unusual, but not impossible, for a human to survive a crash such as yours. Many would not." Aaron's chest swelled with a mixture of pride and humility. He had always known humans were adaptable, but hearing it from a being like her made it feel real. I guess I was lucky, he said, trying to hide his embarrassment. Lysera extended her hand, and Aaron took it again, feeling that calm warmth. Luck is part of it. Courage, determination, and the willingness to endure are part of it as well. Come. There is much you should see. He followed her through the palace, stepping carefully on the glowing floors that seemed to react to their presence. The halls were wide and high, filled with floating lights and plants that moved as if they were breathing. The walls pulsed with energy, displaying images of past events. Strange battles, celebrations, and scenes of daily life. The air was filled with a faint melody, harmonizing with the soft hum of the palace itself. This place, it's alive, Aaron said, his voice barely above a whisper. It feels aware of me. In a way, it is, Lysera said. This palace is not made solely of stone or crystal. It is built from energy, intelligence, and life itself. It responds to those who enter with respect, trust, or caution. You have been cautious, yet honest in your intent. That is why it accepted you. They reached a large open hall, and Lysera paused. Here is where you will learn about my people and this world. She gestured to the center, where a floating globe of light hovered. It displayed the planet, showing continents, oceans, and the glowing energy that flowed through its surface. This world thrives on energy that is not merely physical. It is life itself, knowledge, and strength. It can be shared, and it can be protected. My people live in harmony with it, as do our allies. Aaron stared at the glowing globe. It's beautiful, but dangerous too. Yes, Lysera replied. There are those who would misuse this energy. It is why we must be vigilant. Your arrival may change many things, though I do not yet know how. Aaron swallowed. I just want to understand. And survive. Of course. Lysera's expression softened. You will do more than survive. Humans have a resilience my people admire. You will learn, as I will watch, how your kind adapts. And perhaps, you will teach my people something as well. She guided him further through the palace. They entered a large chamber filled with what appeared to be books. But as Aaron looked closer, they were not made of paper. Each book was a crystal panel, glowing faintly and floating in midair. Lysera waved her hand, and a panel floated toward him, displaying symbols that rearranged themselves into English, or at least, something he could read. These are records of my people, Lysera explained. History, science, philosophy, all stored in forms that can be understood by others, if the energy of your mind is compatible. Aaron reached out to touch one of the panels. Immediately, knowledge flowed into him. Not overwhelming, but enough to give a sense of the planet's complexity. He saw the lives of Lysera's people, their cities built in harmony with nature, their methods of energy collection, and their careful defense against threats. He marveled at the balance and wisdom. They are peaceful, he said finally, but capable of great power. Exactly, Lysera said. Peace does not mean weakness. My people defend what is sacred with strength and intelligence. And now, you are here. Perhaps one day, you will stand beside us when needed. Aaron felt a shiver of both excitement and fear. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Readiness comes with understanding, Lysera replied. For now, you must learn the ways of this world. Learn its energy, its rhythms, and its logic. Only then can you act without harm to yourself or others. They continued walking, arriving at a balcony overlooking the planet's glowing forests. Tiny creatures flitted through the treetops, leaving trails of sparkling light. Rivers of soft energy flowed like streams of liquid light, nourishing the land and all who lived upon it. The air was alive with song, and Aaron could feel the harmony even in his chest. "Look closely," Lysera said. "This planet is delicate. Its strength lies in balance. Everything has purpose. Everything is connected. Humans have power in their own way. Your strength is your determination, your adaptability, and your courage. If you learn to use it wisely, you can help protect worlds, such as this one." Aaron felt a sense of awe unlike anything he had ever known. He had faced danger before: storms, space travel, the vacuum of the cosmos, but nothing prepared him for this. This was not merely survival. It was responsibility, knowledge, and potential, all at once. Lysera then guided him into another chamber. This one was vast, circular, and filled with platforms that floated in concentric rings. Each platform displayed simulations of different scenarios: natural disasters, conflicts, and cooperative endeavors. "Here you will train," Lysera said. "Not only your body but your mind. You will learn to understand energy, to react with intelligence, and to see connections where others see chaos. Your species has great potential, Captain Aaron." Aaron nodded, feeling the weight of her words. I want to learn," he said. "If it helps protect your people, or any people." Lysera's eyes glimmered. "Good. Your intent is true. That is always the first step. Strength without intent is dangerous. Intent without strength is powerless. Balance is what you must seek." For hours, she guided him through exercises. Not physically demanding, but mentally and spiritually challenging. He learned to sense the flow of energy around him, to predict movements before they happened, and to communicate with the palace itself in subtle ways. Each success made him feel more capable, more connected to the world around him. As the day faded, Aaron felt fatigue, but also exhilaration. He had learned more in a single day than he had in months of human training. And yet, he knew this was only the beginning. The Queen had hinted at dangers, at threats that he did not yet understand. But for the first time since crashing on this world, he felt he might be able to face them. Before resting again, Lysera took him to the palace gardens. These were not like anything on Earth. Plants that glowed softly, water that shimmered with energy, and flowers that emitted light rather than scent. A gentle wind moved through the garden, carrying vibrations that seemed to resonate with his own heartbeat. "Tomorrow, you will begin your training in earnest," she said. "But tonight, rest, feel this world, let it become part of you. Dreams are teachers as well. They will show you things that the waking mind cannot yet understand." End quote. Aaron nodded, taking in the beauty and the peace. He felt small, yet somehow significant. He had come to this world by chance, or perhaps fate, and now he had a purpose greater than he had ever imagined. As he lay on the soft platform that night, the energy of the palace surrounding him, he felt the world watch him, guide him, and accept him. For the first time in his life, he felt that being human was not a limitation, but a unique kind of strength. And somewhere, deep in the night, he wondered, what challenges awaited him tomorrow? What dangers? What mysteries? And what victories? For now, he closed his eyes, letting the palace, the queen, and the world itself cradle him into sleep, knowing that the adventure had only just begun. The first night of real rest on the alien planet passed quietly. Aaron awoke to the soft hum of the palace around him. Sunlight, or the light of the twin suns, filtered through the translucent walls, painting gentle patterns on the floor. His body felt refreshed, though his mind buzzed with energy he had not known before. Lysera was already present, her form sitting gracefully beside him. "You slept well," she said, her voice melodic and calm. "The world allows your body to recover, but your mind, it has work to do. You will learn through dreams as much as through waking life." Aaron frowned, trying to understand. "Yes," she replied. "Dreams can show you things the waking mind cannot see. Tonight, you will enter a vision of my world's history. You will see its triumphs, its failures, and the energy that flows through everything. But you must remember, you are not only a witness, you are part of this story now, and your choices matter." Aaron swallowed, unsure how a dream could carry meaning beyond imagination. I understand." Lysera smiled gently. "Then rest. The palace will guide you." That evening, when he lay down on the platform, a warm, gentle current of energy wrapped around him. It was not uncomfortable. Rather, it felt like floating in a calm river. Slowly, his vision blurred, and then he was somewhere else entirely. He stood in a vast plain, the sky filled with swirling lights that mirrored the energy of the planet. He could feel it beneath his feet, humming through the ground, flowing like rivers of light into his own body. The air was thick with history, as if the past itself had weight and form. A figure appeared before him, not Lysera, but someone taller, robed in the same flowing light as the queen. "Welcome, human," the figure said. "You will see the story of this world. Observe, learn, and remember." Aaron nodded, though his voice was lost in the swirl of energy around him. He watched as cities rose from the ground like crystals, their structures delicate yet unbreakable. He saw beings of light walking among the towers, working together in harmony with the environment. The energy of the planet flowed through them, not controlling them, but guiding them, like a river that nourished every living thing it touched. "They live in balance," Aaron whispered. "Everything works together. It's beautiful." The figure nodded. "Yes. This balance is what allows our world to survive. Every action matters. Every choice affects others. And yet, there have been times when this balance was threatened." Suddenly, the vision shifted. He saw armies from a neighboring planet descending upon the crystal cities. Energy weapons flared like lightning in the sky. Towers shook, and the glowing rivers of energy trembled. But the people did not panic. They moved as one, using intelligence, strategy, and courage. They defended their homes without chaos, without cruelty. Every individual contributed. Every decision counted. Aaron felt a surge of awe. Even against so many, they don't give up. The figure spoke again. "Strength alone is not enough. Only combined with intelligence, courage, and unity can one survive. Your species, humans, have the same potential. You are fragile, yes, but adaptable. Your curiosity drives you to explore. Your courage allows you to endure. And your hearts give you the ability to act when others hesitate." He blinked, absorbing the words. "Me? I'm just one person. And yet, one person can make a difference," the figure replied. "Even here, your presence changes the course of history. You have already begun to influence this world simply by arriving. What you do next will matter." The vision shifted again. Aaron saw Lysera leading her people in great ceremonies, gathering energy from the planet itself. The process was intricate, delicate, and required trust. Every movement resonated with the planet's energy, drawing it safely into the cities and maintaining the balance. He could feel the hum of the energy, flowing through him now, as if he were part of the ritual. "It's incredible," he murmured. "I've never seen anything like this." "Humans have their own ways of greatness," the figure said. "Even on your home world, you shape your environment with ingenuity, with science, and with courage. Here, that same potential can flourish in new ways. You can learn to channel energy, to think in harmony with life, and to act decisively when needed. Aaron tried to imagine it. He had always relied on his intellect, his instincts, and his endurance. But this was a new kind of understanding. It was not about strength alone, but connection, intuition, and trust. The vision then showed him a moment from the past. A young Lysera had faced a threat alone, and yet she had prevailed through cleverness and determination. Her courage inspired her people to unite, turning a dangerous invasion into a victory without unnecessary loss. Aaron realized that leadership here was different wisdom, and understanding mattered as much as power. "You see," the figure said softly, "true power is the ability to protect, to guide, and to unite. Humans have this power too, though it often hides beneath the surface. Courage reveals it. Actions reveal it. And now, you have been given a chance to test it." Aaron's mind raced. "Test it? How?" "You will learn soon," the figure replied, fading into the glowing light. "For now, understand that strength comes in many forms, and that even a single human can make a difference here." The dream shifted once more. This time, he saw himself in the palace, standing beside Lysera as strange beings approached. They were tall, armored, and carried energy weapons. Aaron's pulse quickened, even in the dream. But he was not powerless. He could sense the flow of energy around him, feel the rhythms of the planet, and anticipate the movements of the intruders. Even in sleep, his mind was learning. "You are part of this world now," Lysera's voice echoed in his mind. "And this world will shape you, as you may shape it." The vision began to fade. Aaron felt himself lifted from the dream, returning to the soft platform in the palace. His eyes opened to the gentle light of morning, and the hum of the palace felt familiar now, almost like a heartbeat. He sat up slowly, feeling stronger, more aware, and more capable than the night before. Lysera was still beside him, watching quietly. "You have returned," she said. "What did you see?" Aaron struggled to put it into words. "Everything. The planet, your people, the energy, and me. I saw myself helping, learning, maybe even protecting. It's strange. It felt real, like I was actually there." "That is the purpose of dreams here," Lysera explained. "They are not mere illusions. They are lessons, memories, and possibilities. You experienced what your mind and spirit can accomplish. Remember this feeling, Captain Aaron. The knowledge you gain here is more than power. It is understanding." Aaron nodded slowly, feeling a sense of calm and purpose. He realized that the planet, the Queen, and even his own species had something to teach one another. Humans were fragile, yes, but their resilience, curiosity, and courage made them capable of extraordinary deeds. "You are learning quickly," Lysera said, a hint of pride in her voice. "And soon, you will face challenges that require not only understanding, but action. The dreams are preparation. The world outside awaits your presence, and the choices you make will shape what comes next." Aaron felt a spark of determination. I want to learn. I want to be ready." Lysera smiled. "Good. That is the beginning. Your kind is not often present in worlds like this. But your nature, your human nature, is exactly what may tip the balance in times of need. Courage, ingenuity, determination, these are not qualities to be underestimated." The day passed slowly, filled with more lessons. Aaron practiced sensing the flow of energy, moving in harmony with it, and observing how every action had consequences. The palace itself seemed to respond to him, guiding him toward insights that were invisible to the naked eye. By evening, he felt a bond forming not only with the Queen, but with the planet itself. He could feel the energy in the walls, the floor, the plants, and even the air. It was as if the planet had acknowledged him as more than a visitor. He was a participant, a learner, and, potentially, a protector. Before he rested again, Lysera led him to the balcony. The twin suns were setting, casting long, colorful shadows across the glowing forests. Tiny creatures flitted through the trees, leaving trails of light like falling stars. The rivers of energy shimmered softly in the fading light. "Remember this," Lysera said. "What you see here, in peace and in danger, will guide you. The world has lessons for all who arrive, but it rewards those who understand courage, respect, and unity. Humans have these qualities, though often untested. Your test begins soon." Aaron looked at the landscape below, feeling both small and significant. He was far from Earth, far from anything familiar, yet he sensed that his presence here mattered. The energy of the planet, the wisdom of its people, and his own human spirit were beginning to intertwine. As he lay down that night, he felt anticipation, excitement, and a quiet sense of readiness. The dreams had opened his mind. But the real journey, the part where courage, knowledge, and action would truly meet, was just ahead. And he, a human, fragile yet determined, was ready to face it. The palace hummed softly around him, the twin suns dipping below the horizon, and somewhere deep within, a small but steady spark of hope and power glowed. Aaron closed his eyes, ready to dream again, and ready to become more than just a survivor. The twin suns were high in the sky, their light filtering through the translucent walls. For a moment, the world seemed peaceful. Too peaceful. A small unease settled in his chest. His dreams had prepared him, but he knew that knowledge alone could not protect anyone from danger. Lysera appeared beside him, her face calm but alert. "The planet senses disturbance," she said quietly. "You felt it too." Aaron sat up, his pulse quickening. "Disturbance? What kind of disturbance?" "Threats are approaching," she explained. "A species from a nearby system seeks the energy of this world for themselves. They do not understand balance, only control. If they succeed, they will disrupt the harmony of the planet, and much will be lost." Aaron swallowed hard. He had imagined danger, but seeing it through her calm eyes made it real. Can they be stopped? Lysera's gaze was steady. "Yes. But we will need courage, intelligence, and teamwork. You have already begun to learn, Aaron. Now, you will see how human determination can complement the strength of my people." She led him to the central chamber, where a large map of the planet floated above a pedestal of light. Holographic figures represented the invaders. Tall, armored, and relentless in their movements. Their energy weapons glinted in the simulated sunlight. "They arrive in force," Lysera said. "But their numbers alone do not ensure victory. We have knowledge, energy, and strategy. And now, you." Aaron's heart raced. "Me? What can I do against them?" Lysera placed her hand on his shoulder, the warmth calming him. "Observe, learn, act. Human ingenuity is unpredictable. That is your strength. Your species can adapt, improvise, and create solutions that others cannot imagine. That is why you are here." For hours, she guided him through defensive strategies. Aaron noticed that every decision mattered. Redirecting energy flows, predicting enemy movements, coordinating defenses across the planet. The palace itself was alive, communicating subtle guidance. He could feel it pulsing beneath his feet, urging him to think quickly, act wisely, and trust his instincts. "Your kind excels when faced with pressure," Lysera said. "Courage without thought leads to danger. Thought without courage leads to inaction. You must balance both. And now, the test begins. Even before the words finished, alarms rang throughout the palace. Red lights flashed as energy readings indicated the approach of the invaders. The ground trembled slightly beneath their steps. Aaron felt a thrill of fear mixed with determination. He followed Lysera to the balcony, overlooking the outer plains. The invaders were visible now. Sleek, black-armored beings moving with precision, carrying weapons that glowed with destructive energy. They had already landed several ships on the planet's surface, spreading rapidly. They underestimate the planet, Lysera said. But they will learn that strength alone is not enough. Look closely, Aaron. See how the energy flows. Anticipate their actions. And act when the moment comes. Aaron focused, as she instructed. He noticed patterns in their movements, small imperfections in their formation. Energy currents from the planet pulsed in certain directions, almost like invisible threads connecting the land, the palace, and the attackers. Slowly, he began to see opportunities. They move too fast in some areas, he murmured. If we redirect the energy there, it could slow them down. Lysera's eyes brightened. Exactly. Use the planet's flow. Do not fight them blindly. Guide them into balance, or imbalance if necessary. Together, they orchestrated the defense. Lysera manipulated the palace's energy, creating barriers and channels, while Aaron suggested ways to redirect power through natural currents of the planet. The invaders found themselves moving slower, struggling to maintain cohesion. The palace's defenses amplified the planet's natural energy, creating walls of light that repelled attacks without causing harm. You are learning quickly, Lysera said, her voice steady in the chaos. Your presence changes the dynamics of this battle. Observe closely and act decisively. Aaron nodded, adrenaline sharpening his mind. There, over there! That cluster of energy. We can trap them in a loop, using the river currents. Lysera smiled faintly. Do it. Concentrating, Aaron guided a flow of energy from the palace toward the invaders. It was subtle, almost invisible, but enough to confuse them. Their movements faltered. The invaders' coordination broke, and they became vulnerable. The palace's defensive energy created barriers that channeled the intruders away from critical areas. One of the invaders tried to bypass the defenses, charging directly toward the palace. Aaron instinctively raised his hand, directing a pulse of energy to slow its advance. The alien stumbled, caught in the invisible current, and was easily contained. You are remarkable, Lysera said quietly. Your actions show courage and ingenuity. Continue. Aaron felt a surge of confidence. The fear that had gripped him earlier transformed into determination. Every instinct, every lesson, from the dreams and the palace's guidance, came together. He was not just surviving, he was contributing, making a difference in the battle. Hours passed, though it felt like minutes. The invaders regrouped, attempting to overwhelm the defenses with sheer force. But Aaron and Lysera anticipated their movements. Using a combination of human strategy and alien energy manipulation, they turned the tide. Each action was precise, deliberate, and effective. At one point, Aaron noticed a weak point in the invaders' formation, a concentration of ships near a river of energy. If we collapse that current toward them, he said, pointing. Lysera's eyes glimmered. Yes, carefully, not to harm the land, only to redirect their focus. They combined their efforts, and a surge of light flowed along the river, creating a moving wall that channeled the invaders into less strategic positions. The attackers struggled, unable to adapt quickly enough to the combination of human ingenuity and alien energy. Gradually, the invaders began to retreat. Their ships lifted from the ground, energy beams flaring as they pulled back toward their own vessels. They had underestimated the planet, the Queen, and now, the human beside her. Aaron felt a rush of relief. They're They're leaving. Yes, Lysera said. For now. But the lesson remains. Strength alone is not victory. Courage and intelligence, combined with understanding, create triumph. Aaron looked at the battlefield below, feeling both exhaustion and exhilaration. He had faced a real threat, one that could have destroyed everything. And he had contributed. Humans were fragile, yes, but capable of adaptation, quick thinking, and courage. Today, that had made a difference. Lysera placed a hand on his shoulder. You have proven yourself. Not only to my people, but to yourself. Courage and determination do not require superhuman strength. They require a willing heart and a clear mind. And you have both. Aaron felt pride swell in his chest. He had doubted himself when he arrived on this planet, uncertain and weary. But now, he understood that being human was not a limitation. It was a source of strength. Adaptability, creativity, and courage, these qualities had allowed him to act where even the most advanced beings might hesitate. The palace hummed softly, its energy settling into calm rhythms. The twin suns began to set, casting long shadows over the plains and forests. The glowing rivers of energy shimmered peacefully, as if acknowledging the victory and the balance restored. Lysera led Aaron back to the palace, her expression serene but serious. This was only the beginning, she said. Challenges will come again. You must continue to learn, to observe, and to act. But today, you have shown that humans can rise to meet the impossible. Aaron nodded, feeling a mixture of exhaustion and satisfaction. He had learned more in one day of battle than he could have imagined. The dreams, the lessons, the palace, and the queen's guidance had prepared him. But it was his own courage and quick thinking that had truly made a difference. As night fell, he lay down once again on the soft platform. The palace's hum was gentle, reassuring. He closed his eyes, replaying the events in his mind, analyzing every decision, every movement, every pulse of energy. And as sleep overtook him, he felt a quiet but growing certainty. Humanity had a place here, not merely as visitors, not merely as survivors, but as beings capable of greatness. Courage, intelligence, and determination, these were qualities that transcended worlds, that could shape the destiny of a planet. The twin suns disappeared beyond the horizon, leaving a sky filled with stars. The energy of the planet pulsed softly beneath him, a reminder that life, balance, and courage were all connected. And somewhere deep inside, Aaron felt the spark of what humans could become. A force not of dominance, but of resilience, ingenuity, and hope. Tomorrow would bring new challenges, new lessons, and perhaps new threats. But for the first time, Aaron felt ready. Not just as a human stranded on an alien world, but as a participant in its story, as a contributor to its survival, and as a symbol of humanity's courage and potential. The palace whispered its approval, and the planet itself seemed to hum in quiet acknowledgement. And Aaron, exhausted but alive, finally drifted into deep, restorative sleep, knowing that the next day would demand even more from him and that he would rise to meet it. The next morning, the twin suns rose over the crystalline palace, spilling their light across the glowing plains. The air felt alive with energy, pulsing gently beneath Aaron's feet. For the first time since his arrival, he felt the weight of responsibility more than fear. The attack from the previous day had been repelled, but Lysera had reminded him that challenges never truly ended. "You are ready," Lysera said as they stood on the balcony overlooking the planet. Her eyes reflected the light of the rising suns. The threat may return. Others may come seeking what this world protects. But today, you have shown what humans can achieve when guided by courage and understanding. Aaron looked at her, feeling a mix of pride and humility. I only did what I could," he said. "I just reacted to what was in front of me." "Exactly," Lysera replied. "But your actions were decisive. They were guided by intelligence, not just instinct. That is why they mattered. Humans are unpredictable to others because you do not rely on strength alone. You combine observation, learning, and creativity. That is a rare gift. As they spoke, the palace vibrated slightly, a gentle reminder that the energy of the planet was ever present, responding to its protectors. Aaron took a deep breath, letting the calm strength of the palace fill him. Today, we must solidify our defenses, Lizera said. I wish to show you how strategy and foresight work together. She led him into the command hall, where the holographic map of the planet floated once again. Aaron's eyes scanned the regions where the invaders had landed. Small pockets of residual energy disturbances remained, evidence of the previous battle. But the planet was resilient. The rivers of energy flowed steadily, and the forests remained luminous and strong. These areas, Lysera explained, were weak points during the attack. If we repair them and strengthen their energy flows, the planet will be much safer. I want you to lead the effort in analyzing these points. Your perspective, human perspective, may be the key to discovering patterns we might overlook. Quote, Aaron nodded, feeling both nervous and determined. He studied the map carefully, remembering the lessons from the dreams and the previous battle. He noted that certain energy currents naturally reinforced each other, while others could be redirected to create protective barriers. What if we channel the energy this way? He suggested, pointing to a narrow passage between two glowing rivers. It could act as a funnel, slowing any invaders who try to pass through, and giving the palace time to respond. Lysera's eyes brightened. Exactly. That is human ingenuity at work. We often see the energy as a network, but humans see patterns, possibilities, and shortcuts. That is why your presence here matters. Working together, they implemented Aaron's strategy. Lysera guided the energy, and Aaron adjusted the flows in real time, learning how subtle changes could influence vast areas of the planet. The process was precise, delicate, and required complete focus. Hours passed, yet neither of them seemed to tire, guided by purpose and determination. As evening approached, the palace sensors detected a new approach. Another wave of invaders, more organized and prepared than before. Aaron felt a rush of adrenaline. This was the moment he had been preparing for, not just in dreams or lessons, but in action. Lysera turned to him. You are ready. You have learned the flows, the rhythms, and the patterns. Now, you will apply them. Humans can see what others miss. Your insight can save lives today. Aaron nodded, swallowing his fear. Then we'll do it. We'll stop them together. The invaders advanced, their ships glinting in the twin sunlight. They moved cautiously, as if aware that this world was unlike any they had encountered. The palace, alive with energy, began projecting barriers and channels, subtly guiding the attackers toward areas of minimal impact. Aaron observed patterns in their formations. He noticed that the invaders favored certain paths because of terrain and energy flows. Using Lysera's guidance, he adjusted the planet's energy currents to create obstacles, redirecting them into corridors where the palace's defenses could be most effective. They're concentrating near the northern river, he said. We can isolate them there without harming the land. Lysera nodded. Focusing, Aaron directed the energy, feeling it pulse in response. He adjusted, flows like a conductor with an orchestra, creating harmony from chaos. The invaders struggled, their coordination breaking as they were funneled into energy loops and barriers. Every step, every choice, every adjustment he made contributed to the defense. One of the invaders tried to bypass the barriers and reach the palace directly. Without hesitation, Aaron channeled energy to form a protective shield around the structure, guiding the intruder away safely. The invader stumbled, caught in the energy currents, and retreated. Lysera watched with a quiet smile. Your courage and decisiveness are remarkable. Humans often doubt their strength, yet your actions prove otherwise. The battle continued, each movement precise and calculated. Aaron felt a growing confidence, not arrogance, but clarity. He had learned to trust his instincts, apply knowledge, and act in harmony with the planet's energy. It was a blend of human adaptability and alien guidance, a combination that the invaders could not anticipate. As the twin suns began to set, the invaders realized their efforts were futile. Their formations faltered, and their numbers dwindled. Slowly, systematically, they retreated, lifting their ships into the sky. The planet, vibrant and alive, returned to its calm rhythm. Aaron breathed deeply, feeling the exhaustion of battle mixed with exhilaration. He had faced real danger, contributed meaningfully, and seen the impact of human ingenuity firsthand. He was no longer just a visitor on this world. He was a protector, a participant, and a symbol of courage. Lizera approached, her expression serene but proud. "You have done well, Aaron. Today, you demonstrated that humans are more than fragile beings. Your determination, intelligence, and courage have made a difference. My people will remember this day." Aaron felt a warmth in his chest. I just did what I could," he said. "I only acted with what I had learned." "And that is enough," Lysera replied. "Strength is not measured by size or power alone. It is measured by action, by courage, and by the willingness to face the unknown. Humans have that in abundance, even when unaware of it. You have shown that today." As night fell, Lysera guided him to the palace gardens once more. The glowing plants shimmered softly in the moonlight, and the rivers of energy reflected the starlit sky. Aaron looked around, feeling a deep connection to this world. Its beauty, its harmony, and the responsibility it carried. "You have earned a place here," Lysera said. "Not as a guest, but as a protector and friend. Humanity has a potential that is often underestimated. Yet your courage today proves that even one human can change the course of events on this world." Aaron smiled, feeling both humility and pride. I never imagined I could do something like this. I just wanted to survive." "Oma, survival is the beginning," Lysera said. "But growth, courage, and action define greatness. You have begun that journey. And now, you are not alone. My people, the palace, and the planet itself recognize your place here. And your story is far from over." He looked out at the horizon, where the twin suns had set and the stars glittered above. The planet was calm, glowing softly with life and energy. He felt a sense of peace, tempered with anticipation. Challenges would come again, but he knew that he had the courage, intelligence, and determination to face them. For the first time, Aaron understood what it truly meant to be human. Fragile, yes, but resilient. Small, perhaps, but capable of extraordinary acts. Alone, he might not have succeeded. But with courage, intelligence, and the trust of others, he could rise to meet challenges that seemed impossible. The palace hummed softly around him, a gentle reminder that life, energy, and courage were all connected. Lysera stood beside him, a constant presence of wisdom and strength. And somewhere deep inside, Aaron felt a spark of hope, determination, and purpose, qualities that would guide him, not just on this planet, but wherever his journey took him next. As he lay down to rest that night, he closed his eyes with a sense of fulfillment and readiness. He had survived, learned, and acted. He had faced danger and found his own strength. And he had discovered something profound. Humanity, even when small and fragile, carried within it the power to inspire, protect, and transform worlds. The palace whispered its approval. The rivers of energy glimmered in the moonlight, and the stars above shone brighter than ever. Aaron drifted into sleep, not as a visitor or survivor, but as a human who had found courage, purpose, and a place among the stars. And somewhere, in the quiet hum of the planet, a simple truth echoed. Humans could shine, even in worlds beyond their own.